The other thing that we often see is when we do that initial dump, we have people often put on assessments and plans. So I want to break both of these down. People will put down, well, in my classroom, when a student's struggling, I might refer them for a psychological assessment. I might do this particular assessment in my classroom. We might do level B that someone in our school does. Those get added inevitably to our continuum. In time, we want to pull those out because we have to understand that an assessment's not a support. It informs the support. So it may be that before we go and investigate adding tier 4 level supports, we may want to initiate a psychological assessment, for instance, if we need that, if we're not quite sure what we should be doing. So removing just doing an ed psych, just doing a screener in your classroom, that doesn't help a kid unless it can inform the next steps. So I think that's one important thing to understand, that of course assessments are critical in the process, but let's not put them in our continuum. We've seen some schools that kind of put them to the side and say, as we're investigating moving from tier 2 level supports and adding on tier 3, we may look at doing some of these assessments to inform that, because by the time we get to tier 3 and 4, those are often, well, they are typically interventions that are being put in place, and interventions by their very nature require resources for it. So we want to ensure that we are putting the right intervention in place because of the cost of the resource. Now, the other thing that is important is then removing plans. So the most obvious example I can think of is a student individualized program plan. Whatever acronym you utilize within your school division for that individualized plan, but let's not call that a support. What's in the plan are the supports. So we had made that mistake as a school by saying, well, those are only in place for our intensive students, so they must be at the highest place of our continuum, up on tier 4. But again, it's with that understanding of don't tier the kids, tier the support. Sure, that's in place for our intensive students, but the support itself, if you went and looked in that IPP, it had things such as use of alternative seating in the class, reduced assignment lengths for student, frequent communication home with the parent, and frequent opportunities for breaks within the classroom. Well, all of those are tier 2. They're all things that are within the classroom that the teacher is responsible, that they're doing for some of their students who potentially need that. So by saying, well, this is a student who needs tier 4 supports because an IPP is a tier 4 support, well, that's actually not accurate. They don't need tier 4 supports in that particular case. They need tier 2. And the plan indicates that if we're doing these with fidelity and regularly, the student can have success. So removing the plans out as well is important, and understanding a plan could have supports from multiple levels in it to ensure the student has success.